So we're on the road again.
Yes.
Shadow of what was the BT Tower, but why, Bax?
Well, today there's a Gabicci launch of heritage style brand.
Brilliant.
And there's one or two reprobates in there examining the goods, and we just have a little look and see what it's about. And
I think we should.
Have a little.
And he makes a good point, obviously, but more importantly, please do follow us and please do subscribe. What do you have to pay?
You've got to subscribe. It's for free. It's absolutely for free.
It's for free. And now it's Gabicci. That rhymed, didn't it?
One of those.
Well, Bax, let me introduce you to a man I've known forever through the wacky world of DJing. He's a club man, Christian Well.
He's lying, I've never met this fella.
Good try.
Probably
Good
over
try.
a fire or something.
Oh, there you go.
But why are we here today at this cafe talking about Gabicci's?
Well, I could wax lyrical and I could lie, but it's all about the launch of Gabicci's. What are we? Is it their summer range, their autumn range?
Spring, summer 2025, yeah.
Spring, summer 2025, which comes out, I think, in the shops next week.
Anytime now,
Anytime now,
yeah.
so it's landing really, really soon.
Mid-March, yeah.
Some of the pieces are based on a collection of Gabicci's that I've had for a number of years, probably over, conservatively speaking, over 25 years.
Wow.
Probably longer. I know a couple of the pieces are at least 30 years plus, and they've been in my ownership. I've worn them for that long.
So how do they find you to do this?
How did Gabicci find me?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay, I've got to give props to the people that have put me here. A good friend of mine, Richard Ratledge, who's up in Great Yarmouth.
And another great name from the club scene.
From What Is Hip, yeah.
Yeah.
From Richard's Parties, plug. Richard contacted me a little while back and said, Gabicci are thinking about doing a heritage range. I was like, okay, what's that got to do with me? And he said, well, what they're looking for are people that have got original pieces. And I never have thought I've got an original piece. I just thought, okay, I've got some Gabicci items in the wardrobe, and that's about it. But he said, no, they're looking for people that have got Gabicci pieces because they want to look at them to see, firstly, whether or not they are Gabicci pieces, and secondly, whether or not they warrant reproduction. So I said, okay, not a problem at all. He gave me Simon's number. I contacted Simon, and Simon and Camilla politely asked me to send them pictures of what I had, and based on the conversation that Simon had with Camilla, she looked at a range of pieces from a range of people, and in the main a lot of those pieces were from the 80s, but when they saw the pieces that I had, Camilla said she'd been with Gabicci since she was 19 years old, and some of those pieces were pieces that came out when in a very early year.
Wow. I mean, is there one or two in there which are like your favourite finds? That there in a darkened corner you spotted perhaps just the edge of a collar.
It's strange because I think a lot of people go to kind of like the normal places to find their gear, whether it be eBay, now Vinted, second-hand shops. I've just constantly been on the lookout for anything and everything. My favourite piece is one of the pieces that's coming out in the range is the red with the black piping. And I think it would be black with red piping, but my one has got black with red piping. And I think the significant change in what's coming out with Gabicci's pieces for this particular season is they'll be coming out with a G, whereas the pieces that I have do not have the G. And that's kind of the decider, really.
So the idea of them using your particular pieces,
yes,
is to pick up on the old details that they maybe not have done the last few years, and just to reintroduce those into the range.
It's a combination of things. It's looking at the details, but it's also looking at the fabric that was used back in the day, and it's also some of the shapes insofar as the collar sizes are different. And Gabicci have said in order to reproduce this range, they've had to or their manufacturers have had to buy new machinery to specifically
Wow.
produce these collars.
It's never as easy as you think it is. That's
Oh,
what
good
people
Lord,
say.
no.
People say, why don't you do this, why don't you do that? It's never quite as simple as that, is it?
And I suppose it's a calculated decision that they have to take, because
Yeah.
the range that they have had in the past have had a particular collar, a more polo shirt collar, that they believe obviously that their customers will be happy to buy and have continued to buy. But this is a different range with a different collar. So they're taking a leap of faith, and so far from what they've put out there,
good, yeah.
it's been snapped up. So
That's
it's really
indeed.
good.
Now, of course, I know Chris from the world of DJing, club DJ of many years past, and I don't think I've ever seen you wearing one out. Is that because the nightclub-based situation, they're too precious for that, were they?
I think if you look at it, back in the day, I used to go to a nightclub, whether it be DJing or not, they're hot and they're sweaty.
Yeah.
And that's not the right garment to wear in a hot and sweaty environment. I mean, you could, but more for you when you come out of there and it's got like beer stains and cigarette, because we could smoke back then. You got cigarette burns on them and the whole shebang. Kebab sauce and stuff like that. So you thought, I
remember it well.
It's not. I'm not going to wear that tonight because it's not for me. So no. I would wear that maybe at daytime events or other events.
Yeah.
And as I said to Simon, when I showed him the range that I had, I did honestly say to him, I hardly wear these, and it's only because the occasion has to be right to wear them.
Yeah.
And that's about it, really. Yeah.
Yeah, great stuff. Well,
Lovely.
good luck with them.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, Simon Parr,
Yes.
OBE.
One day.
This is your idea today, really. To do what exactly? What are we doing?
Well, the idea was the new archive range is coming out now, and I thought we need to do some kind of launch. Mm-hmm. So we found this place behind us, which is a coffee shop, which you can rent the room.
Very
so
nice
I thought
coffee, by the way.
Bring all the original pieces,
Yeah.
plus the ones we've recreated.
Yeah.
Invite a few faces. And we can have a look at the tops and just talk about the new
So
archive range.
obviously, Chris has been instrumental in what you're doing.
Yeah.
So how has it been working with Chris? How's that been?
Oh, brilliant. So we put on Facebook and Instagram, anybody got some original Gabiccis, let me know. And loads of people sent in pictures, but they weren't quite right. And then Chris suddenly turned up out of nowhere with all originals that he got from a shop in Paris. And Kamala from Gabicci said, yeah, no, these are the real deal.
These are real deal, yeah.
So he wouldn't let them buy them off him. We couldn't borrow them. We couldn't touch them. We could look at them.
Hold on, so you've left out steel. Okay, fine. No, fine.
So
fine.
Well, I wasn't available that day.
No.
we met up with him, with the designer, and they took loads of notes, loads of photographs, and now we've recreated them, and they're the ones that are in there at the moment, and they're in store now actually.
Brilliant.
And online.
The great news, particularly I guess since you've been involved, Si, is definitely we want to realise our heritage,
Yeah.
which hasn't always been the story with Gabicci, is it?
Not at all. I think what happened was they were, massively in the 70s and in the 80s and in the 90s, and then they sort of didn't lose track where they were going, but the heritage pieces they weren't really doing.
Right.
And they didn't want to do the big collars. Everyone was screaming out, well, we want the big collars. We've got to be the big collars. And they said, oh, no, we don't want to do those. We want to sell them. And I was like, no, you've got to do, the originals.
Go for it.
Yeah, so the first one we did was the Roy, which was last season. That absolutely flew out. So we proved that we can do it.
So you was getting feedback from what? Shops and customers saying
People like you.
Yeah. Mainly me.
Well, this is important though, but it's a fan base as such, isn't it?
So it's driven by the fans, isn't it?
Oh,
really?
no, absolutely. And they had to get a new machine
Yeah.
to make the new collars. The fabric's made of, this is one of the archive, it's made from nylon and viscose because the originals are made of acetate.
Right, okay.
So all the details we've recreated and it's proved, honestly, it's phenomenal.
And do you think from
That's great,
the point of view of someone, Gabicci's a great example, is, they've got history, but of course they're a contemporary seller. They don't know necessarily if they've got to kind of dip into their past.
Yeah.
Is this the future now, do you think, for Gabicci?
I think it'll be part of the future. I think
Sure.
people still want the normal polo shirt with the roll neck and the turtleneck. It's a bit too far for some people. It's all right for us posers, but no, I think each season you will see a small archive range, and as long as it sells, we'll just carry on doing it.
Yeah, the uptake's been good. You've been really, great feedback.
Really good. Even the one you've got on. You see,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
look at that. So that was the Lavelle. So the
the
soul singer
golden
Lavelle.
G-man.
Look, the size, and again we
Look at
wanted
the size of that.
the big G, and Gabicci were like,
Important
I'm
detail.
not sure if we could do that. I said, no, seriously, you've got to
Well,
do it.
if they're ever a big G, to wear a big G. Well, listen, best of
right,
luck with it,
yeah.
and great knees up.
Yes, well,
Thanks for inviting us.
you're more than welcome.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Now, this gentleman here owned Great Yarmouth for centuries. Nightclub promoter, music lover, and clothes shop owner as well, the Holy Trinity.
I know.
When did that all start?
What, the one recently?
Everything.
Right. Early days, 82 we started doing the jazz funk soul thing with the Caster thing. Moved it along as we went along. I worked in fashion then anyway. Moved it into the 90s with the rave scene. Hated it, come out of it. Went back into the soul scene. Then I was a postman for 18 years.
Wow.
We were still doing
Little interlude.
We were still doing the parties, and then we came out of that after being a postman. I got medical retired. What do we do? So we opened a shop
Brilliant.
for what I'd call the over 40s, 50s, 60 year olds. So we have mods, skinheads, rockabillys, anything like that.
And what's the
Anything-
shop called?
It's called What Is Hip.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And obviously, Gabicci is a good seller for you.
It is. We started doing Gabicci about three and a half years ago.
Okay.
And I've never looked back.
Yeah.
And the great thing about Gabicci now is we've got more people who want it. I now sell it to skinheads because it's got the Jamaican look.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, crossover, isn't it?
When I was a skinhead back in 68, 69, we never wore them. Now they're wearing them as a new fashion thing.
Yeah.
And they're slightly updating themselves, if you like. And then the other week when we discovered we've got one named after us was icing on the cake.
Well, here we
We're a bit
go.
too quick now. We're a bit too quick
Did
now.
I go too
No, you brushed right over the big deal because, I mean, who gets to say this? Obviously, the great thing about Gabicci now is they are kind of reinventing themselves, bringing back old stuff. But in the process, there's one named after your good self called
I know. Routledge.
the Routledge.
The Routledge range. I couldn't believe it. And nor could my family. And funny, the guy I used to work for in the 70s and 80s rang me up and said, what the hell? I never had anything named after me. And so it was a nice honour, to be fair. And I was more than chuffed.
Timeless classic like yourself.
This new heritage range that's coming through,
Yes.
just to pick up on that,
Yes.
that's obviously doing well. It's selling well.
I love it
Yeah.
because I like it actually more than the one I got on.
Yeah.
Because I like the collars,
Yeah.
I like the shapes, I like what they're doing with the designs,
Yeah.
and they hit what I'm selling spot on. And not only that, some of the rockabillys are getting into it. They like it as well.
Oh well.
So it's a
If we're crossing genres, there's no stopping them, is
Hey, your
there?
shop sounds perfect for that.
Yeah,
it
it's great
is.
stuff.
Okay.
that's lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers, Rich.
Listen,
Richard.
that's good to see you. Thank you very much.
Nice. Thanks for your time, mate.
Thank Mr. Gary Crowley, I mean, you know, oh, of course, actually, you know, but Manny, you're dotage, you deserve it.
That's what I tell my daughter.
Exactly. The Gabicci is stuff of legend, isn't it? Not necessarily your world, though, personally as such, but
Well,
we all know it, don't we?
I just remember, Mark, all the cool kids wearing it
Yes.
at school. So, you know, this would be Edgware Road, Paddington, sort of 73, 4, 5. A lot of the black kids, you know, would have been, you know, absolutely washing it and going
Yes.
off to, you know, clubs like, what was it called? The Coup Club on
Right.
Trade Street, where a lot of the sound systems used to play, and also the Stowe Club, I remember. And then, of course, you know, fast forward to sort of the late 70s, early 80s, and all the casuals.
Yeah,
kind of
absolutely.
wearing it
It's
as
had-
well,
it's had
you know.
lives,
Yeah.
hasn't it?
Which is very much like the stuff they're producing today. That's what today's really about.
Yeah.
That heritage wear, which I remember from terraces and youth clubs and sound systems.
Yeah.
That's what they're picking up on the details of that
Yeah.
stuff. Chris's world, music world, mixing with the heritage of it all.
Yes.
And it's a demand for that. There's a demand.
And you know, you said the music world as well, Mark. I mean, I remember, you know, the cool ruler, you know, Gregory Isaacs.
Gregory Isaacs.
You know, he
Yeah.
looked absolutely, you know, resplendent in Gabicci.
Well, it's that well, doesn't it?
Bob Marley,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, sort of wore a few pieces as well. So
I mean, it's
you know,
such
that
a-
all just sort of enhanced
Exactly.
the whole coolness of it.
And it's a weird journey, you know. It's London to a resort in Italy to Jamaica,
resort
back
in Italy,
home again.
Resort in Italy first.
Yeah, exactly. So there's this whole weird world that goes around. I think you must do this over the years yourself. It's great when things last. His music will be the same with you.
Yeah.
There's classics
enduring
and genres.
quality.
There's something
Yeah.
that keeps them timeless.
Yeah, we're just having a look at you know at that latest that latest range. I mean, you know, there's just an enduring quality to it.
Yeah.
And it's never kind of gone out of fashion,
No,
really.
no.
And you know, the colours. Talking of dotage, as I get older, you know, I do like you know the blacks and the greys
Yeah,
and the beiges.
yeah.
Some of the other colours I can admire
From a distance.
but I couldn't wear that.
No.
But no, it looks absolutely fantastic. More power to their elbow.
Too right as well. Speaking right,
Get out.
while you're at it, you are still, speaking of timeless classics, you're still out there proving it, yeah? And
He's never been busier.
you're relentless music
He's never been
machine.
busier, the fella.
Well, getting away with it, I think, is the is the expression. Yeah. No, I mean, it's. I'm not sure what else I could do really, but.
He's on the heritage circuit today.
Oh, they're so cruel. I didn't come here to be insulted.
And with that, good afternoon.
Yeah, with all that honesty, we'll leave it at that. Thank you, Gal. Lovely, mate. Thank you. Thank you.
Great stuff, mate.